I was like, I like that they're older. You know what I mean? But they already been through a lot of shit. So we was like, we're not here to play games. Like, let's get to it. But I too, I worked for the city. I worked for sanitation.
Okay.
And I walked off the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't answering my call. You understand?
Yeah.
I just felt like this thing that's tugging at me is so powerful that if ever I deviate from it, I crash. You understand?
You get sick.
So I know that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah. That's deep though. How you try as hard as you can to fit. Like if you're a circle and you're trying to be a triangle, you're a rectangle trying to be like a Z, whatever it is you're trying to be. Usually when you're trying to be that, it's already out of alignment, right? Like, because if it's a struggle, if it's like I gotta talk myself into like doing this for the next 8 hours or the next 9 hours, and it's like it's like I think the universe is always like there's a certain. I think if you're uncomfortable, it's like it's a sign. You know what I mean? Like, because I think that most things that come out of a space where you feel like if you're a server and you're not doing service, then it's uncomfortable. If you're a dancer, you're not dancing. If you're a dancer and you're doing something else, it's just not comfortable. So it's just deep how we look at stuff like L's when they're really W's. Like even the term fired, I don't like it just because there's no judgment on it. I don't like it because it almost gives the power to the people who didn't quite understand what they were dealing with in the first place. You know what I mean? And I think I admire people who know how to play it so on that line of it for so many years. But ultimately, like the God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is still trying to nudge you to your destiny and your path too, So the people who do that, that's their path. Anybody who says the words to you, you're fired. Whenever I hear that word, I guess I'm a little like, because of this not my president. Like, so whenever I hear the word fired, I always have like, lately in the last 6 months, when that word itself is like, damn, the people who operate out of that space are people like him, who even use words like you're fired. You know what I mean? I'm liberated.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's liberation. You know what I mean? You can't fire a free person.
You're so right. And I say fired because that's what happened, but that's not what really happened.
Right.
What really happened is what you're saying. So I've been in this place for quite a while, and in the beginning I was doing God's work.
Yes.
At some point they stopped me from doing that. They didn't want me to do it anymore. They said you're opening up too many can of worms. We're a school. We're not a therapeutic community. All we have to do is get these kids to graduate. We don't have to help them. And I couldn't do that. So I was always opening up a can of worms. I was always setting up a fire. But they tried, and you know what? It was a job and they paid me well. I got the summers off. I had it made. I got comfortable. Now this place did not hire me. They did not, I did not apply for a job in this place. They had me come down to do a workshop on addiction one day, about 21 years ago. And that workshop, the kids connected with me. They asked me to come back to do their parents. I did their parents, and the parents, with the power, asked the headmaster to hire me because I understood and I could take care of their kids. These are all white people. They're all white people. They knew I could, and that's all they care about. Their kids being served and protected. And they knew I could do that. So I did that, right? They stopped me from doing that. These people, the powers that be changed. They stopped me from doing that. For the last 5-6 years, I became fucking complacent.
Yeah.
I stopped doing the work that I do. So when they so-called fired me, my son, my youngest son, said, "Dad, I'm so glad they fired you." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because they took the straitjacket off. Now you can go do the work that you really know how to do and that we need you to do." He said, "Fuck them."
Yeah. It's crazy just how like you process that. Like the reason I'm saying that is I was directed like at this a really, really prestigious, the Kennedy Center in DC, which is like the largest performing arts center in the country. And I was doing this project with this guy who's like this big Grammy Award winning guy, not an actor. They asked me to write the script and direct it. This cat, he was so fragile, man. It's like, I don't know if you,
I found a friend out
not
on
to
the
be
street.
racial, but there's this white fragility, you know what I mean? Like where you can't say it for real, you know what I mean? Or you can't, like, if you say something, all of a sudden you got people in their feelings, you know what I mean? And you're like, damn, like, am I really? And then I looked around the room and I realized that I was sort of a face of something, but not really like in any kind of real power decision making. It was really about when we made that check, like on the list, we got a black man in this room, so you can't say that we're racist, right? But to deal with like that white fragility all the time, so the guy came to me one day and said, Danny, I don't, this isn't really working. And I was kind of, my ego got involved, I was like, damn, like, who are you to be firing me? But I realized, man, this thing had run out maybe 2 weeks before it had run out. But I was just trying to like make it work. And I was like, damn, if you gotta try to make something work, maybe that ain't working in the first place. You know what I mean? But it was just almost like you don't want to come back and look at yourself as a failure, or look at, because that is so loaded, man, when people say like, I'm letting you go. That's a deep thing, whether it's, if you've been divorced, if it's your wife and she said, this ain't working, when you look back on it, you're like, damn, I'm glad she said it. You know what I mean? But at the time, it hurts, you know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you took an L. But you really might have saved both of your lives, because, rage is something else too, man. You end up with your hair